Let's see. Another memorable event. I was trying to think of some in Vietnam. We'd get USO shows in. And we had a couple of those. One of them was a Miss America tour. You guys know the Miss America show?
Yeah.
Well, most of the ladies that was in this show had been members or had went through the Miss America show pageant and tried to make Miss America, and they didn't. And they formed them up into a show, and they'd do singing and dancing and for us. And another one, how many people remember Captain Kangaroo? You remember Mr. Green Jeans? We had a show with Mr. Green Jeans. And he was quite the character. I didn't think any of you guys had known Captain Kangaroo. He hadn't been around a long time, unless maybe the replays. So, anything else?
Okay, Alex, we're going to tweak yours a little bit, because you kindly explained the medals in your shadow box. Did you want to ask me about the medals and the insignias on his uniform?
Yeah, that was Alexis. Not Alex. That was Alexis.
Oh, I'm sorry. Alex and Alexis, you look alike, name-wise. Okay. Did you want to ask about the insignias on his uniform, since you already explained the medals in the box?
Some of the others I didn't explain.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are kind of small. You got up here on each side of these patches, you have a US, and then this one over here is wings and a propeller blade. That designates aviation. And these are collar brass. They were worn on the collar, on your dress uniforms. Over here is cross cannon that is for artillery. And when I was in this unit in Texas, it was an artillery unit. In fact, I don't know if you guys, how much you've studied on World War II, but have you guys heard of General Patton? Mm-hmm. Okay, this is one of his units. This unit is the only unit that wears this patch when you're in that unit over your left chest, just above the left pocket. And the reason that's being is when he was in command of that unit in Africa, he says, we're going to give them a target where to shoot us to kill us. And that's, we're putting it over our heart. All other patches are worn on your shoulder. Wings here are for soldiers that had flight status. Where I was a standby door gunner crew chief and also test flights, that's how I got my flight status to wear wings. There's two little pins down here. They're kind of a, well, I guess you'd kind of call it a triangle with a round top. And that was my rank. It was Specialist 4th class. And this little pin that's yellow and red stripes, that was a pin that we got when we came back from Vietnam to designate Vietnam service on civilian clothes. And of course, name tag. On our fatigues, we had, it was sewn onto our fatigues. On our dress uniforms, we'd wear that patch, that way everybody knew what your last name was. And on this shirt, this here is Honor Guard. That is stating that one of the things I do as a member of the American Legion is when somebody that's been in the military passes away, and if their family wants military honors, we do military honors at their funeral for them. And this braid, we have two different colors of braid that we wear. One is for like doing things like this, doing flag ceremonies and other things of that nature. The other color of braid is black, and we wear the black braid when we're doing memorial services. Trying to think, what else?
Did you ever get like ranked up? Like there's like different rankings and did you ever like go up in the badges? Like did you ever like win an award that made you go higher up?
Okay, as far as rank, okay, I started out as an E1 private. Everybody does in basic training. We got promoted after basic training to E2 private. Then we went to our advanced school. They had for honor graduates out of your class, and you had to be within the top 10% of in school or grades in your class to get accelerated promotion. And I was in top 10% of my class, and with that I got promoted from E2 to E4. And that's just as I had enough time in service and time in rank and everything when I was in Vietnam to be able to put in for a rank advancement. They closed it down because they felt they had enough E5s or Specialist 5 in the my military occupation at the time. So then when I came back to this U.S. and I changed to a different job, I had to be in that job for a while before I could put in for promotion again. And when I got to that point, instead of being able to be a specialist, the artillery, you had to be corporal or sergeant, so I was going to have to go and put in and be changed and then go for a promotion in grade. And that's when my enlistment time was up and I got out. But, so.
Go ahead.
Anything else?
Good. Okay. Paris. Do you remember your question? Okay.
Did you feel pressure or stress?
Pardon?
Did you feel pressure or stress?
Pressure or?
Yeah, did you experience pressure or stress in your military career?
Yeah, at times. You know, like I was talking about that helicopter crash. That it took a while for me to get over that. And there were times in Vietnam when we knew we had to have all these helicopters fixed by a certain time, and so they were ready to fly the next day. And I mean, we go to work at 4 in the afternoon, and we're still there at 8 o'clock in the morning. And they were going out on what we called combat assault missions. We shortened it up to say CA. And that was kind of stressful because you knew the pilots and the crew chiefs and the door gunners, they wanted those helicopters perfect. And it was your responsibility to see to it that they were. And so those made for some long nights. You were there 16 hours and working. And during the monsoons, it was even worse because it didn't matter if you had rain gear or not. You were soaking wet and cold. And there was times you're laying on the ground underneath the helicopter trying to fix something underneath and laying in 3-4 inches of water. And it wasn't very fun.
Okay. Next question is from Sydney.